Hey there, welcome back to Lightstand Entertainment. I am Deviant D. How you doing? And finally, since finals are over for me, I got the chance to sit down and watch Kevin Smith's latest film, Yoga Hosers. For those keeping track at home, this is part 2 of his True North Trilogy he's making that started with TUSK, the second one's Yoga Hosers, and the next one that's yet to be made is Moose Jaws, which, if you know nothing about the movie, it is exactly what the title dictates. It's Jaws, but with the moose instead of a shark. So, for those of you who don't know Kevin Smith, I've kind of grown up with the guy's career, so to speak. That started all the way back in the early '90s with his first film, Clerks. After that, he arguably the most prolific and popular time by mainstream audiences. Anyway, time for his career was in those '90s. By like his fourth film was Dogma, which everybody loved and a lot of people saw. Hell, even my mother saw it when it came out. And ever since then, into the aught years, he's kind of, I guess the easiest way to say it is he's been doing his own thing. Hence this True North Trilogy. First and foremost, he went on record saying that a lot of his fans probably wouldn't like specifically this second part of the True North Trilogy, Yoga Hosers, while a lot of people like TUSK. A lot of his fan base did not like Yoga Hosers. And the reason is, he flat out said it, it is a bad movie. He straight up said it. He makes no qualms about calling it what it is. It is a bad movie. And after watching it, I can agree with him. It is a bad movie. But I like the occasional bad movies. And on top of it, I caught a lot of the references, like movie references to shit that Kevin Smith put in Yoga Hosers. So I liked it for that. Like, he's referencing shit from the movie Ghoulies 2, if that puts it in perspective. Like, at the end of the movie, there's just something that happens, and I was like, Kevin Smith, the writer-director of this film, has openly said he made this movie for tween girls. Teenage girls. Obviously not a teenage girl here, and obviously a lot of Homeboy's fan base are not teenage women. So he basically made this movie, I think, just to basically look back at his career and be like, dude, I made this movie with my daughter. Because the movie stars basically the two lead characters of the film. They're both named Colleen. It's Colleen C and Colleen M, I believe. They're played by, Colleen C is played by Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp. And Colleen M is played by Harley Quinn Smith, which is Kevin Smith's daughter. And come to find out that him and Kevin Smith have kind of struck up a bond, so to speak, through their daughters, because their daughters, I guess they live in the same neighborhood, have gone to school for quite a few years together, have kind of struck up a friendship. So that's why Kevin Smith did it. And Johnny Depp, he plays the same character that he played in TUSK. He's going to have a running character through the entire trilogy. Guy Lapointe, I believe, is the character's name. And yeah, and honestly, the whole movie, to break it down, it's about two teenage girl convenience store clerks that are fighting these mutated bratwurst that look like they're like mutated bratwursts that are wearing Ranger Rick gear, like Canadian Mountie shit, and have Adolf Hitler stashes, and they're referred to as Bratzies. So yeah, it's about a bunch of teenage girls fighting these Bratzies. I mean, there's more to the story than that, but not much, truth be told. So yeah, the long and short of it, I dug the flick because I was warned. Kevin Smith has gone on to say over more so the latter part of his career that he's not so much a filmmaker. He considers himself more of a storyteller. Whether that be film or what he's gotten into later in his career with the podcasting and doing the Q&As, like the road showing, if you will, of his films. And his Q&As, if you've ever been to one or watched one, they're not so much question and answer sessions. They're mostly Kevin Smith telling you stories. He's a great storyteller. I can sit and listen to him talk about practically anything. It's very involved with his storytelling. He makes his stories very personal, and they're just fun to watch. So I've been watching his podcast and hearing all the negative shit about this movie before it came out, and honestly, like half the shit that came out about the film, that I watched or listened to was straight from him, like beating the critics to the punch, like shitting on the film. Like, dude, I know people are gonna hate this, but he kind of said it best, where he was just like, I didn't want it to be later in my life where I'm laying on my deathbed and I'm sitting there going, you know, shit, I wish I would have made that movie with my daughter about the stupid little mutated Brotzies. You know, fuck, I wish I would have done that, you know. So that's why he did it. And because I'm a Kevin Smith fan, I can enjoy what he did. I'll say this. I was definitely more entertained by Yoga Hosers than I was by Cop Out, which honestly really isn't a Kevin Smith film. He didn't write it, he just directed it, the flick with Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis. So I don't really count that, but sure as shit better than Jersey Girl. So